Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Top 5 Fridays. DBougie86 here again. And if you watched last week, I actually didn't post a Top 5 last week, guys. The reason being is I was just fucking busy as all hell. So you're going to get two Top 5 Fridays today. As usual, that's the way we do it. I had this the 5 that I picked out for my Top 5 recommendations already picked out. Just didn't get a chance to record the video until today. So with that being said, let's just get right into it. First up at number 5, we have Cryptic Plasm. This is the latest film from Brian Paulin, Morbid Vision Films release, which is his company. Really cool thing that I really like the setup of this one. It involves like this group of documentaries that are doing like this web series thing where they're trying to discover urban legends, and they investigate like this legend of like this town that is completely deserted now, and it goes batshit from there, guys. It's if you haven't seen a Brian Paulin film, his films are gore-tastic, so there's a lot of gore in them, and this one's no exception. There's tons of fucking awesome gore shots and awesomeness in this one. Really cool stuff. Brian Paulin actually plays the cameraman in this movie. Can't think of his name off the top of my head. And I like the interaction between him and the main character because it's pretty much them for the whole movie. And it gets batshit, guys. If you haven't seen a Brian Paulin film, highly recommend this stuff, especially if you're a fan of gore. Really awesome stuff. I'm actually going to leave the link below where you could actually pick this up. So look for it in the description down below. Cryptic Plasm, awesome shit right there. Number 4, we have Island of Terror. Yes, Terrence Fisher film from 1966. Yes, starring Peter Cushing, of course. Fun little creature feature. It takes place off of like this small island off the coast of Ireland, and has like these weird like plant-like creatures that are starting to attack like this island's inhabitants, and it becomes like a siege film in a way. Just cool effects, and I like the look of the creatures, and some surprising shit happens with this one involving hand getting cut off. That's all I'm gonna say. Fucking awesome shit right here. Number 4, Island of Terror. Number 3, we have a film from Phil Stevens, another indie director. This was put out by Unearthed Films, and that is Flowers. Yes, I love this film. It's a very art house like style film. It involves like this group of women who were victims of this serial killer, and it involves them journeying through like this like purgatory that's actually inside like the killer's house to get to their final destination, pretty much. Really stellar film. If you haven't seen Flowers, I know Phil Stevens is actually making Flowers 2 right now. I'll actually leave the link below for the Indiegogo. Give them a support, because you have to support these indie guys, because they're making like these very interesting like films that with the budgets that they have, this one's really great for what it is. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like heart in this movie. So yeah, support Phil Stevens and indie horror. That's at number 3. Number 2, we have a film from one of my favorite horror directors, Lucio Fulci. This is one that I don't think gets talked about enough, and that is House of Clocks. Yes. Really cool setup, this one. I really like it. It's like this this group of people that go into like this elderly couple's house and try to rob them, and it goes batshit from there, and then shit happens, and then it turns into something that you think it's not gonna do, and it involves like the title of the movie. It has like a lot of like setups with clocks in it. Without giving too much away, I don't want to really spoil this one, because you can't. This was actually a TV film from Fulci too, and it has some fucking crazy gore in it. Really good shit. If you haven't seen House of Clocks, I highly recommend it. If you find the Shriek Show DVD, I know it might be a little harder because Shriek Shows are going out of print here and there. So yeah, with that being said, I highly recommend House of Clocks. It's an awesome ride right there. And at number one, we have a Shaw Brothers production, Seeding of a Ghost. When this first started, it was originally supposed to be Black Magic 3. But a lot of like the subplots with like gore and sleaze and shit added to it, made it its own thing. So they made it Seeding of a Ghost, which ironically plays into the end of the movie without giving too much away. But this movie's a fucking blast. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Gore-tastic shit and just bad shit. If you haven't seen a Shaw Brothers film, this is definitely one that you should start with if you want to see some more Shaw Brothers horror shit. So check out Seeding of a Ghost. Awesome shit right there. And that is my top 5 recommendations. I'll be back a little later for my top 5 action horror list. So I'll see you then, guys. Peace out.